Did I see you? You know what? How come did I not see you?
You didn't see me.
No.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's
I
okay.
just looked from that side and then I'm like, I must have done something.
That's okay. I'm okay.
I'm sorry, forgive me.
No. It's fine. I've also been
And
driving
Stacia?
around like
Did he just walk right by you?
Here or
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was talking to you, and I'm like,
He came
oh, I'm talking
over.
to Bethany.
I got a
I'm like,
finger wave and everything.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, because you know he forgets.
No.
He hasn't forgotten me yet.
Yeah, now you give him a week.
So, and I was in this
then I'm not
almost
guilty
every
then.
day. So there's
Oh yeah, this is.
Well,
Do you still have your own office here? Your hidden office?
No, but I've already gotten like 4 hugs.
Uh-huh.
If I don't make the rounds after
You're
I'm done
right.
filing, I'm in trouble.
Oh, you're putting into your
With the time of day, yeah. It's pretty easy. I figured out, but hey.
Security was like, oh no, you're in trouble. Why are you
Yeah,
sick?
I noticed my freak out at one point.
that's an appropriate way to say hi.
That's the best way to say hi.
I've never used it before either. Because we had another thing, it was a black magic that yeah, that thing seemed to work other than the one day, I don't know why. I don't know what to figure out. The IT special, you unplug it and plug it back in. I don't know, I didn't.
So I feel that's why I was like, I need to go check and make sure it got done because I don't file it myself.
I don't know if we did either. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think
If I don't file it myself, I'm not trusting my law.
Did you?
It's like, I know they said they had to, they said they did 10 to these.
Well, I'm gonna go check because I was gone last week, and so that's not.
No, that's just it, because I
Yeah.
delegate.
I don't
You're
do
doing
this.
this, you're doing this, you're doing this.
If I don't do it myself, I just worry.
And I told her because last time, Richie was like, you just asked if I was here. And so, I, on Tuesday, sorry guys, it was just
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
you know, communication business.
Oh, he'll.
First time we were Craig. Was that day when we were out? Yeah.
The measure. No, not the last time. It was the first time since you.
Time flies.
Speaking of,
I'm gonna play that George Michael song.
have you made any significant life choices lately?
No.
Right, I mean,
I'm a player.
I get it. I mean,
So I got a couple more days, but literally down to the hours.
We're
Down to the hours. Yeah.
Because we're less than 24 hours.
it was surprising, but then, when the judge spelled out the way the law was being administered,
Okay.
I should know this. I've just been circling
Yeah.
it makes sense.
July 4th on my calendar because it's easier to remember.
Yeah.
you guys stay when you were on the beach?
So Thomas Keeper, so we'll say that our neighbors know about us.
I figured that's a flag. Cool.
And then
It was just last week. I went to an event and the page stream he was telling me that was either a producer or somebody in house did, you know, because they'll be there immediately. It's like at 1 o'clock. Then we get back at like 4 o'clock and that political reporter who's at the steakhouse who wasn't even there called me, hey, how can I get that video? Because I've got to write it. And I was like, why didn't you tell me that? I could have dropped the video off to the steakhouse at 4 o'clock. And I was like, why didn't I stream it back? And they said, for the web. And I was like, well, the web before I post it, of course. Don't we reciprocate that? So we're equally, we're equally dysfunctional in that way. We don't communicate. And so I'm going through and sending my whole car, which is about 30 minutes. What's going on? Good to you. Last second. Makes absolutely no sense.
I'm just gonna stay with There's no point for me to be in here.
Thank you. Sorry.
on the record here, the state of Ohio versus Jacob McDonald. Case is scheduled for sentencing this morning. Mr. Brigden, is there any reason why we shouldn't proceed to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Murphy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, like any other trial comes down to two different factors, the burden of production and the burden of persuasion. The burden of production is the evidence that comes before the court that allows the trier of fact to hear and decide under the burden of persuasion whether or not there are facts that merit the return of guilty or not guilty verdicts on different counts. In this particular case, the court returned 6 counts of vehicular homicide as to what occurred in this particular circumstances based upon those facts that were put in the record, the evidence that was put in the record in this case. The state has had the opportunity to review the PSI in this particular case, and when the defendant was asked to provide a statement in regards to the incident of offense, he said, "I have no idea what happened. I remember waking up to a fire." Again, Your Honor, that goes to the burden of production and the burden of persuasion, but obviously those statements he made similar in nature to police, that on this day, back on November 14, 2023, he has no idea as a commercial driver what occurred. There was an evidence that was presented that medically there was nothing that would prevent him from remembering these things. Life's about choices and consequences. Our concerns here, Your Honor, is all this has happened before and all this will likely happen again. We believe that the maximum sentence set under the findings made by the court that the defendant can be sentenced to is an 18-month sentence in the county jail and a class 4 license suspension of up to 5 years. We don't believe that that's hardly enough in this particular case. We believe for the folks at Tusky that this was the best of times and also the worst of times that occurred to them. We don't believe any sentence this court can give is going to be substantial enough under the particular circumstances. These folks have nothing left to give. They've had everything taken from them. And it's truly a tragedy. I understand and recognize that some of the victims would like to address the court in this matter, and I yield to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Yes. Good morning, Your Honor. I'm going to be reading a statement from one of the students that was on the bus, as well as my own. I'm going to start off with the student's statement. Hi, my name is Riley Ramey, and I am a junior at Tusky Valley High School. I am 16 years old and about to be 17. When the tragic event occurred, I was 15 years old. 15. I wasn't even the youngest on that bus. I've been in the band for almost 8 years now and have enjoyed every second. I partake in percussion and drumline during marching band season. 2 days before the accident, I was spending the day with my best friend. We went out to eat, and I spent around 2 hours polishing my cymbals for the big day that was coming up. And about 40 hours later, because our call time was at 6 a.m., it was November 14th, 2023. I never thought it'd be such a significant date. Obviously, the convention we were going to was a huge honor, but I never thought it would roll off the tip of my tongue like sandpaper over a year later. Charter buses were always fun to me. I had been on them multiple times before school trips, and they were always relaxing. I remember being so tired that morning. Everybody was a little boggy. Little did I know that morning was the last morning I would make fun of my drum mate Wyatt for almost anything he did, because he was a funny guy. Or be the last morning I laughed with JD because of something stupid. Little did I know it was the last morning that Mrs. Wigfield would check off my uniform. the last morning that I would talk to Mr. Kennett about the opening cymbal crash for our show. Little did I know that would be what would be happening 2 hours later. Boarding the bus felt different, like I stepped through a portal as I hauled on all my belongings. When I say hauled, I mean hauled. I had brought a backpack full of my favorite things, including my iPad, headphones, water bottle, brand new book, and other assortments like my new Burt's Bees chapstick and my calculator for my math homework. I also brought with me a favorite pillow and blanket. I didn't know it'd be the last time I touched those things. The last time I would perfectly pack everything into my sleepover bag. But I continued to haul them towards the back of the bus where my best friend was sitting, and I sat down beside him. The one thing that we all noticed, which is pretty funny, was how the bus smelled like old people. Like when you walk into a nursing home or something. Not super relative, but it's just a funny memory. The temperature was cool, the sun was rising, and there weren't many clouds in the sky. It was beautiful outside, almost perfect. Till a stinging headache kicked in. I've been having them for like a month prior, which is honestly quite odd considering what occurred later. After chatting away for about an hour and a half, I laid down on my best friend to take a quick power nap. In the hour that followed, I was abruptly woken as I fell out of my seat and onto the floor in front of me. When I opened my eyes, what I saw in front of me was my best friend hurt, and his glasses cracked on the seat. I immediately checked my hoodie pocket for my phone and was helped to stand by Mr. Tripp. He asked me if I was okay, and I just nodded. I was stunned. Before I could process anything, I looked behind me and just saw complete horror as Mr. Tripp said, "Riley, call 911. Call 911? I've never been told to do that before, and it was just odd because I still didn't understand what was going on. I had never been on the phone with a first responder, and it was anxiety-inducing. I don't think I can talk about anything else related to the events that day because I've done my best to block out a lot of it. But that morning was nothing less than the worst day of my life. In the couple months that followed, I had gone through PTSD therapy and many depressive episodes. I was already sure I had some sort of depression before the accident, but it got so much more worse when it happened. My anxiety also got a lot worse. I couldn't go day to day and struggled to even keep myself alive. The accident not only showed me how quickly a near death is every day, but it showed me that my life can be changed in a split second. And because of November 14th, 2023, I will live with trauma for the rest of my life. I will have memories in my head for the rest of my life. I will have a memorial, obituaries, and many other things from the accident for the rest of my life. Countless nights I would cry for hours, unable to sleep. Countless nights I would ask myself, why not me? Why do I have to keep living when they're all stuck at 8:48 a.m., November 14th, 2023. I feel as though there's not much more I can say. My life will never be the same. I'll never be able to live normally without fear of semi-trucks, without fear of being rear-ended, and the fear of dying. I will hold on to memories. I will be precise in choosing the things I bring with me on a trip. I will never fall asleep in a moving vehicle again. Even though I was not physically injured, I am forever mentally scarred. Nobody should ever have to go through what me and 53 other people had to go through. Thank you for reading this, Riley Ramey. Your Honor, my name is Shauna Fortune. My only child was on the bus and a survivor of the horrific tragedy of November 14, 2023, caused by Jacob McDonald. Today, I am here speaking out as a mom for the moms who can no longer speak for themselves. On that day, everything changed for the 6 families, for all the families, for our family, for our community. A fully loaded semi-truck carrying batteries, a massive and dangerous vehicle plowed through multiple vehicles without any attempt to stop, without any attempt to slow down, without any attempt to swerve, without any attempt to avoid. The destruction was instant. The chaos was absolute, and the trauma and the loss are permanent. Your Honor, you made a statement during the hearing of the verdict. You said something about it could happen to any of us, or it could happen to all of us. Driving on the highway, we look at other things, our minds wander, we look at our phones, we turn on the air, we look away. We're not always 100% looking at the road. Well, the fact that 6 people died and many were injured that day speaks to the magnitude of what happened. It wasn't just a mistake. It wasn't just distraction. It wasn't just stupidity. It wasn't just ignorance. It was preventable. A person behind the wheel of a machine that large, going over 70 miles per hour on an interstate, carries a responsibility beyond the ordinary, beyond the rest of us. They should be held to a higher standard. We understand the court found his actions were not reckless, but negligent. For the court, for the defense, this case was about semantics. For the court, these words seem so clear, they seem so small, but the consequences were massive. The crash didn't just kill, it shattered families. It traumatized witnesses. It left survivors with injuries that will never heal, physically or emotionally. We still relive the moment that we got the FaceTime call from our son, who was thankfully not physically injured. We saw the smoke. We heard the explosions. Those batteries were like little bombs. We yelled at him to get away from the bus. We watched him fall apart because, in his words, it's so bad. It's so bad. Later that day, my son said to me, I thought I was going to die today. We sat with Shannon's son at the church as he paced and he worried and he repeated, I can't get a hold of my mom. I can't get a hold of my mom. His shock and fear were transparent. We still had hope that she was okay. But she wasn't okay, Mr. McDonald. We didn't know that she was killed until hours later. Do you know why, Mr. McDonald? Do you know why it was hours before they confirmed her death? Because they didn't even know there was a vehicle between your truck and the bus until they pulled your truck away. That night, Shannon's son texted my son and said, hug your mom tonight and tell her that you love her, because I can't hug my mom. We have watched him for the past year and a half missing her, needing to hug her. We see the pain in his eyes and my son's eyes. And you caused it, Mr. McDonald. You and you alone. Whatever you were doing. But you don't remember what you were doing, do you, Mr. McDonald? You know, that's what the criminals say. I don't remember. Have you heard that while you've been in the Licking County Jail, Mr. McDonald? Because cowardly criminals deny what they've done and conveniently don't remember the crime. They remember every other detail, but they forget the crime. Have you heard the criminals say that while you've been in jail? Because you are just like them. You are a criminal. You did this. You caused this. Your actions, your recklessness, your ignorance, your stupidity caused it. I hope you relive this every day, Mr. McDonald. I hope your future is sad. I have been to every court hearing and I've watched you. You have showed no remorse, Mr. McDonald, nothing. I'm sure your lawyer instructed you not to speak because that is the coward that both he and you are. Shame on you. Shame on you for causing so much death and destruction and voicing no remorse. Your Honor, there is no sentence, no judgment today that will bring back the people we lost. There is no sentence that will bring back my son's innocence and trust in the world. There is no sentence that will bring Shannon back to her children. We ask the court to consider the real weight of this tragedy, not just as a case that, according to the defense, should have never been in front of this court. Consider it not just as another case, but as lives destroyed and a community devastated. We want accountability, we want responsibility, and we want change so that no other family or community has to live through this pain. Months ago, Your Honor, we thought you could be it. You could be the change. You could be the judge who ruled in favor of the victims, the dead, the wounded. We had hoped you had the courage to make the difficult decision to weigh the evidence, to consider the tragedy, to consider the consequences of Jacob McDonald's actions, to make a statement to the justice system, to take the risk of this case being turned over with appeal, to consider the loss despite the legal language. We had hoped that you would have the courage to make a ruling to influence or inspire legislative change, to make an example of drivers like Jacob McDonald. You had the opportunity to bring an inadequate law to a crossroads, to draw a legal line in the sand, but you didn't, Your Honor. You let it slip through the cracks. You chose to make this case about semantics and to enable the defendant's crimes. Weakness, not courage, was shown by the court, Your Honor. We still believe in the power of the justice system to create meaningful change, but it won't be with this court. We shall turn to more competent means to make change and to make an example of Jacob McDonald. The Tusky Valley Six will not have died in vain. Thank you for hearing my words and for honoring the memory of those who are no longer here to speak for themselves.
Thank you. Any additional statements, Mr. Rogers?
My name's Phil Fortune. And I'm not here to restate the tragedy that happened in November 6th of 2023 and the 6 families wrecked by it. I'm not here to talk about what a dirtbag Jacob McDonald is. He is, but I won't waste our time stating the obvious. I'm here to tell you, Barnstool, you're a disgrace, and this ruling is horrendous. 70 miles an hour through a car into a bus full of kids, killing 6. That's what happened. No attempted brake, clear sunny day, in to stop traffic. This is a certified CDL driver carrying hazardous material. This is a man, I use the term loosely, with a history of reckless driving while playing on his phone. That wasn't enough for you to constitute reckless behavior. He'll get 18 months after this is all said and done. 3 months per life snuffed out. You're everything that is wrong with the judicial system. All your empathy is for the criminal, you got nothing for the victims. You're not a judge, you're an activist in a road. And all the ill wishes, contempt, and scorn I have for Jacob McDonald, I have an equal measure for you, Barstool.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Lisa Abueller. My sister Shannon died in the accident. Okay, let's try to get through this. I'm sorry. Good morning, Your Honor. My statement is directed toward Mr. McDonald. I have gone over what I would say to you over and over in my head. There isn't enough time to share with you exactly how much your decision that day has impacted our lives. My sister, Shannon Elizabeth Abuel Wakefield, was an absolutely amazing daughter, granddaughter, sister, mother, aunt, cousin, friend, and teacher. The weekend after the trial was her birthday. She would have been 48. Instead of celebrating with her and singing to her, We made one of her favorite dinners, had cake in her honor, and released lanterns in her memory. To know my sister was to love her. My sister had been faced with many obstacles in her shortened life, but always had a smile on her face. That smile will light up any room into which she walked. It didn't matter if Shannon knew you for 1 minute, 1 day, or her entire life. If you needed someone, she was the first person there. She went out of her way to make sure you never went without. She used her first paycheck in high school to buy me designer clothes from my favorite store because she loved the act of giving rather than receiving. She held a baby shower for one of her students because she wanted this student and her baby to feel as loved as she loved her own children. When she found out his student didn't have a bed, she reached out to friends and family to find a bed that she could buy out of her own pocket to make sure that student had a bed to sleep on. Shannon has 3 children, though her mother had the most important parts of their lives. She's already missed birthdays, holidays, band shows, prom, and helping her son with the entire college process. Both of her sons graduated this year. She was not there to see them receive their diplomas. Her daughter will start high school next year. She will not be there to give her words of wisdom and encouragement. She'll miss college graduations, weddings, the birth of her grandchildren, and every other milestone along the way. I do believe she'll be there spiritually, but physically, she will never be able to be there again. She'll miss everything because of decisions that you made that day. I go over the what ifs every day. What if she didn't get in that car that day? What if they had left a few minutes sooner or later that morning? What if you had actually been paying attention and slowed down when you were supposed to? Slow down in traffic. I wake up every morning thinking of my sister. I go to bed every night thinking of her. There are moments when I don't know how I will ever be able to go the rest of my life without her. And it literally takes my breath away. There is an ache, an emptiness that will never go away. I need to know why you chose to let this happen. This was a choice to be distracted and not pay attention to the road in front of you. A choice not to see brake lights and slow down to avoid a collision. You took the lives of 6 people, including 3 children. The victims and families will never be the same, never. Unless you've suffered this amount of loss, you have no idea what we're going through. Imagine being a parent having to bury your own child. Imagine being a child and one day your mom's packing your lunch before school and you come home from school and she's gone forever. My sister called her friend that morning in the car to make sure that her son had lunch that day, right before the accident. We couldn't even have an open casket at her funeral to be able to see her and say goodbye. That is because of you, and you can't even look at me right now. Having to deal with the fact that we have for the rest of our lives without her is terrifying and almost unimaginable. But we have no choice. This is because of you. Her son was on the bus that day and saw his friends trapped in the bus. He saw friends getting CPR and the vehicle was engulfed in flames. At that moment, he couldn't locate his mother, and he knew the vehicle she was in was behind their bus. You couldn't even begin to imagine what went through his mind that day or what he deals with every day. This again is because of you. I've gone through a roller coaster of emotions over the last 18 months. It's a literal ache in my heart every day knowing I cannot see my sister. I'll be totally honest and say that I despise you. I don't wish bad on anybody, but I wish God had chosen to take you instead of them. You walked all of your truck without a scratch. These 6 people, Shannon Wakefield, John Mosley, Jeffrey Worrell, Caitlin Owens, Dave Kennett, and Christy Gaynor, did not deserve to die that day. The only consolation is that because my sister's life was taken, it may have saved some of the other students on the bus that day. At some point, I will learn to forgive you, if only for my own sanity and peace, but not for the foreseeable future. As for your punishment, there isn't enough time that they could give you that would satisfy me because my sister's never coming back. Do you think it's fair and just that you walk free, live your life like nothing happened, and spend your remaining years with your family creating new memories? I don't.
Shoot, that's my other one in there. Thank you. It's in.
We can't have new experiences with my sister. We only have our memories to comfort us. I have sat here in this courtroom and watched you during this trial. I was hoping to see a spark of emotion or remorse. There has been absolutely nothing, only excuses and denials. Not once did I hear you ask if anybody was injured. You never attempted to help anyone on the scene. You laid in the grass while other passers-by ran over to help and save the lives of children in that bus. One of the students gave her crutches to the bus driver so he could get off the bus. Due to the bus driver's swift actions, he was able to prevent further fatalities while suffering traumatic injuries himself. Mr. Tripp risked his own life on back into a burning bus to try and save all of the students. There were a lot of heroes that day, and you were not one of them. We've sat through, seen photos, and heard gruesome details about their final moments. It has been almost unbearable. For you, it's just another day, and it seems like we're wasting your time. For you to even think there shouldn't be any punishment for taking their lives is infuriating. God bless the victims that died, the people injured on the bus, the families of all involved, law enforcement officials, firefighters, first responders, the prosecutor's office, and Tusky Valley community. And Shannon, I hope all my punctuation and grammar are correct because I know you're listening. I love you and I can't wait to see you again one day. Good morning, Your Honor, everybody. Sorry, this is the first for me. I hope the last. My name is Susan Abdul. My daughter was Shannon Abdul Wakefield, who was killed. I'm speaking as a mother. I have one question. I just need to know, and I know you can't answer, but I need to know if you ever, any of you have ever lost a child, because it's a feeling like no other. It's a break in your heart that never mends. I hope nobody ever has to do that. A parent should never have to bury a child. It's not natural, it's not right, but it happens. Shannon was like no other. You've heard people talk about her in here. And she was one in a million. She was... I have a lot of things on my mind, but my daughter told me don't speak in circles. So I just had to say that off my heart. And at some point, I know I'm going to have to forgive, because that's God. That's what God will want me to do. My grandson, Evan, was on that bus. He was the one that called his dad and said, "Dad, I'm all right, but I can't find Mom," knowing very well where she was. I'm so glad he didn't have to see all that. He was whisked away. And from that day on, this child has victim's remorse. Because if it wasn't for him, he's said that his mom would still be here. So he has to live with that the rest of his life. He's a great kid. but he misses his mother as does his brother and sister. But, like I said, again, I just had to talk from a mother's heart. And I just hope none of you ever have to bury a child, because it's something that will never go away. This is how I'm going to feel the rest of my life. There's always going to be a chair missing at our family functions. And all of our family functions were around my daughter. It's always you always hear it's the older people that keep the family together. Not in our family, it was Shannon. Because everybody loved her and wanted to be around her, because she just was the light of everybody's life. So again, I'm so sorry. I'm walking in circles. Like my daughter told me, I'm just talking from my heart. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sally S. Green, a Tusky Valley community member, a former band parent, and a 20-year school board member. On November 2022, I was honored to be nominated as the 2024 School Board Association President. As the 69th president of this organization, I faced many responsibilities throughout the state, but one included the special honor of selecting a band to perform at the closing ceremony of the 2023 Capitol Conference. Without hesitation, I selected the Tusky Local School Board Band, a group distinguished for receiving state recognition for their exemplary performances and achieving a rating of 1 at state performances 9 times in the recent years. Their sound is remarkable, and their dedication to music is unparalleled. I wish you and this conference, the conference of 2024 and 23, could have heard them play. The band was thrilled to be accepted and perform in front of an audience of 5,000 to 7,000 people that day. There were board members and educators across the state who valued students. Our band students wanted to give back to those who supported public education and fostered student educational growth. The seniors meticulously planned a diverse set list to ensure that every generation in the audience felt valued and appreciated. They worked tirelessly throughout the football season, memorizing and practicing diligently for this significant event. That day, they left with a full of hope and excitement, unaware of the tragedy that awaited them. To you, sir, the defendant, I choose not to know your name, but I need you to understand the impact of your actions. You changed the trajectory of countless lives that day. The pain felt by families, our community, and throughout this nation for those 6 individuals we lost remains palpable in our school and our community. The court may have found you not guilty of aggravated vehicular homicide. But those 7 seconds of negligence resonates deeply within this tragedy. In those moments, you were at the helm of a massive semi-truck, a powerful vehicle that could wreak havoc. You should have exercised greater caution, but for reasons unknown, you did not. You failed to recognize the impending disaster as those ahead of you began to slow down. In those critical seconds, your actions resulted in a devastating destruction of a chaperone's car, taking 3 lives, leading to a violent collision with a charter bus that erupted into flames, claiming the lives of 3 innocent students. 26 others suffered injuries that day. 1 lost a leg, and 2 sustained life-threatening injuries for months that will forever alter their lives. But the chaos extended further. Your reckless driving sent another vehicle spinning and crashing, and then a second semi-truck driver was rear-ended, and you propelled them down the length of a football field 300 feet of utter destruction, devastation, and fire. And never once in the testimony at the trial did I hear that you applied your brakes. Never once did you swerve. The weight of those seconds lingers, a relentless reminder of the devastation wrought by the moment of your carelessness. I have never seen your remorse. You have never acknowledged the lives that were shattered. Instead of swerving to avoid a collision, you chose to push our bus and the vehicles involved down that football field. Our students were left traumatized, many injured, and they bore the horrifying witness of losing the loss of 6 precious people. What many of you are unaware of, back in school, when students became aware of the accident through the media, they saw the footage of their families and friends being consumed by fire, screams, panics, and grief throughout the school that day and for days to come. Our community is a small, close-knit community. We know our students. Each student may not be best friends, but they've been known to each other since kindergarten. We treasure our students deeply, and on that day, I witnessed the hope and joy transformed into fear and loss, an experience many of us will never escape. We are forever changed. We lost 6 remarkable individuals, and I want you to know the students and chaperones and what we lost that day. And this is only a glimpse of them, but this is what I know of them. Chaperone, Christy Gaynor, 39. Christy was a remarkable individual whose love for her family and others, particularly her 3 children, was defining her life. Her oldest daughter traveled on the bus that day. Christy's passion for music and devotion to Jesus was central in her existence, shaping her nurturing spirit. She dedicated herself to volunteering at various community organizations where she made new friends and fostered connections that enriched her life and the lives of those around her. With unwavering belief in the potential of every person, Christy never gave up on anyone. She possessed that rare gift that made everyone feel seen, valued, and heard. She brightened the lives of everyone she encountered with her infectious laughter. As a devoted caretaker, she found immense joy in providing respite care for foster families during their times of need, or embodying that selflessness and compassion that we saw in her every day. Through her work with organizations such as Foster Love and Pathway, Chrissy extended her love and compassion to numerous children and their families. She was not just a caregiver. She was a beacon of hope and kindness, touching countless lives with her generous spirit and unwavering commitment to making the world a better place. Christy Gaynor will always be remembered as a beautiful, giving woman whose legacy and love and compassion was cut down that day. Chaperone, Sharon Wakefield, 45. Sharon was not just an English teacher at the Buckeye Career Center, but she was a beacon of warmth and support to her students. A devoted mother of 3, again one who was on the bus that day. Shannon's heart was deeply entwined with the lives she touched. Her passion for music was evident, having been a band student herself, and she carried that love into the role as a chaperone on band trips. With every trip she supervised, every band uniform she checked, she brought a heart-catching enthusiasm that energized our students and our staff. Her genuine care for her students went beyond mere supervision. She took the time to connect with them, fostering a nurturing environment where they could thrive, not just academically, but also personally. Shandy's commitment to her students was not just about teaching. It was about inspiring them to reach their full potential. Her presence in the band was a testament to her belief in the power of music and the transformative educational tool that it brings. She dedicated herself to supporting the band in every way possible, whether through organizing events or simply being there to cheer them on. Her love for teaching and her unwavering support helped create a sense of community that resonated deeply with everyone who had the privilege of knowing her. In Shannon, students found not only an educator, but a mentor who truly cared about their growth and happiness. Teacher Dave Kennett, 56. He was Dave to us. He taught at Tusky Valley High School 31 years, combining passion for mathematics and nature. He started and served as an advisor for the ski club, and he shared his love for skiing, boarding, and nature with his students, many who continue to love that today. David inspired countless students, helping them to overcome the struggles in math while creating a fun and engaging classroom environment. He had Christmas lights, so many Christmas lights. When you go down the hall, you always knew which room he was in with the Christmas lights. And standing in the hallway, he would look for students that might be having a bad day, and he would give those students his wisdom through his jokes. Now, this was before dad jokes were even invented. He announced the TV band songs and their entry on the field at halftime shows, and we cherished his unique introduction. And now, the Tusky Valley Marching Swing Band and his vibrant energy captivated the audience, drawing the attention as the sound echoed down the field. As the band entered, fueled by his enthusiasm, they radiated confidence, excitement, and pride. The connection between him and the band was palpable and enhanced the entire experience for everyone present. I want you, the defendant, to know fear when we couldn't locate those three adults, unable to reach them by phone, searching and frantically searching in the conference center to see if they had arrived. Then the fear and horror at the news the car was under the bus, a grisly, fiery death. While you stood on the other side of the accident, holding your hands up, with the appearance of concern for your truck, and never attempting to help or be concerned while people were dying inside, and our students' hearts were breaking. Now, let's hear about the beautiful students we lost that day. Caitlin Nicole Owens, 15. Caitlin was a radiant sophomore, an honor student whose dedication to education was truly inspiring. She not only aimed for an honors diploma, but embodied the passionate spirit of those enriched in her surroundings. As a clarinet player in the school band, Caitlin expressed her artistic talents and shared her love for music with others. Her zest for life was evident in her diverse interests, some of which included trap shooting and motorcycles, which showcased her adventurous spirit. Caitlin had the unique ability to connect with people. She made friends effortlessly and continued to create bonds with her peers. Her warm personality and genuine kindness left a positive impact for everyone she encountered. Caitlin cherished her time with her loved ones, valued the moments spent with family and friends. Her beauty radiated from within, enhanced by her bright smile and contagious laughter. Caitlin's gifts to the world were not only academic achievements and musical talents, but also her ability to uplift and to inspire those around her. She truly embodied the essence of joy and compassion, making the world a better place just by being in it. John Wyatt Mosley, 18, known to us as Wyatt. He was an exceptionally gifted young man whose humility and caring nature set him apart. At just 18, he possessed the remarkable intelligence that shone through his passions of music, programming such as Project Lead the Way and acting. He was always willing to lend a hand to those in need, embodying a spirit of generosity that endeared him to everyone around him. His sense of humor and his deep compassion created a warm atmosphere, making his beloved family and friends love him. Though he often appeared quiet and somewhat shy around me, there was a unique charm in his demeanor. When we spoke, he would smile gently. His head would bow just enough to have his hair fall over his eyes. And then in those moments, whether responding to a Project Lead the Way question or acknowledging my intentions to capture his likeness in a photograph during band practice and shows, he revealed a glimpse of the vibrant spirit. On stage and in band, Wyatt transformed. He truly became alive. His confidence and talents flourished in front of the audience, whether behind the stage or on it, whether in the stands or on the playing field, playing his quints. While I watched with pride, I would always marvel at how he could express himself so expressively. It was a wonder to witness as he effortlessly transitioned from a reserved young man to a captivating performer, leaving a lasting impression for all who had the privilege of knowing him. His mastery of the quince, which is a 4-drum set in the marching band, was incredible and amazing. Jeffrey Day, J.D. Worrell, 18. J.D. was an enthusiastic member of the marching band, celebrated for his kindness and dedication. He played the bass drum and carried the beat for the band, and I would tell him if I saw him before pregame, "Keep the beat, J.D., keep the beat." And he actively participated in schools, productions, choir, speech, debate, and even on the Student Advisory Council for our superintendent. His desire to help others and spread happiness truly defined his character. I knew J.D. best. He received Trojan Pride Awards as the other students did, but he would always arrive early at board meetings to sit and talk, or at Student Advisory Council meetings, stay after and talk, where we would share conversations. I learned his passion for his sisters, for performing, and for his ability to give different voices to his characters that he portrayed in drama and speeches. Sometimes I would give him an emotion or an accent, and he would improvise. Those were the times I value most. He shared that his dream was to announce events or narrate on audiobooks, showcasing the potential of embodying various characters. I was working with him to shadow and experience the world of announcing with an announcer in Columbus prior to the accident. He never accomplished that dream. JD's compassion extended to those who were struggling. He wanted everyone to feel loved and valued. He cherished his role in Hope Squad, an evidence-based peer-to-peer suicide prevention program designed to foster human connection, community, and hope in the schools. In this program, the students are nominated by their peers. He was nominated by his peers as trustworthy individual that they could come to in times of distress. And then he was trained to recognize those distress signals and connect them with their appropriate support. But what I miss most is seeing him at school. JD could always make me laugh or feel an emotion, depending on his performances that day. His vibrant spirit and unwavering kindness left an indelible mark on all who knew him. These students are deeply missed. They brought life, beauty, and profound desire to improve the world and to the lives around them. Their immense potential and unique gifts were silenced on that tragic day when the opportunity to slow down and change the course of the trajectory in the tragedy was overlooked. On that day, 6 cherished members of our community had their hearts stopped, their dreams ended, and their ability to make a difference taken away. We mourn their loss and what they could have been every day. On the day of the tragic crash, the weather was calm, the temperature 37 and the humidity 7. This incident underscores the defendant's significant failure to notice the slowing traffic, a critical lapse that endangers all who share the road. It is crucial to emphasize that all of the other drivers on the road in front of you slowed down in plenty of time, but you did not. You continued at 70 miles per hour. You drove straight into the chaperones car, pushing it under the bus and continuing to our charter bus. The charter bus executed evasive members post-impact, ultimately safeguarding the lives of those 48 passengers aboard that survived, and many more lives could have been lost that day. As a licensed semi-truck driver, your actions raise significant concerns regarding public safety. All drivers should be vigilant, but semi-drivers have a special responsibility to be aware of their potential for the great severity and damage of loss in accidents, and remain watchful, but you did not. This shows that you are incapable of this to me. Judge Branstool, you have found the defendant guilty on 6 counts of vehicular homicide classified as a first-degree misdemeanor. And it is essential that every life lost is acknowledged during the sentencing. Given the tragic nature of this event, I urge the court to recognize the seriousness of this situation, and I know you have the ability to have judicial discretion. This individual has taken 6 lives and forever changed the potential of all the families, school, and communities that we have lost. The defendant should face severe consequences for his reckless actions. His failure to anticipate the potential of such a devastating accident is deeply troubling, Therefore, I respectfully request that the full sentence be imposed for each life lost, not just for an accident. This approach recognizes the responsibility of semi-drivers while operating on the road, and it is crucial to serve as a strong reminder to all drivers to remain focused on their driving. Additionally, I request a permanent revocation of the defendant's semi-driver's license and any other driving privileges. It is necessary, I ask that a formal request be made to the appropriate authorities if you are unable to do this, to prevent future tragedies involving this defendant. While this action cannot fully reflect the immeasurable value of these lives lost, I implore you to take that vital step toward justice. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Lexi. My mom is Lisa, and my grandparents are Ron and Susan. Right now I'm going to school for criminal justice, and in my career I hope to display more justice than what has been displayed in this courtroom the last few months. Last night, if I look a little familiar, it's probably because anyone that I've ever met has said that I'm a twin of my Aunt Shannon. Sorry. Yesterday we were watching home videos of the 90s at Christmas with our family. The entire time that we were watching these videos, which was about 2 hours, the only thing that I was thinking was, I just miss my Aunt Shannon. Sorry. At the end of the day, family is all that we have. And now, because of Jacob McDonald's actions, the 6 families won't be able to create new memories with their families. And I'll never be able to go to Target with my Aunt Shannon. And I'll never be able to create new memories with her. And we really were best friends when I was here. And I just hope that going forward, the criminal justice system will display more justice than what has been displayed here. Thank you.
Mr. McDonald. I'm the brother-in-law. My name is Chris Draper. I'm the brother-in-law of Dave Kennett. I was a professional driver for 22 years. We are held to a higher standard than the average person driving. Now, I don't know what you were doing in the cab. I don't know if you were petting a cat, doing a crossword puzzle, you fell asleep. I don't know and I don't care. But what I want you to know is I know what you weren't doing, and that is scanning the road ahead every 3 to 6 seconds. So, that's all I gotta say.
My name is Ron Abiel, and I got to ask Mr. McDonald, what do you tell your granddaughter, 13-year-old? Why did my granddaughter have to die? Can you answer that question for me? Why did she have to die? Let that sink into your head for the next, how many years you live. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Briggs.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I've got to know Jacob over the last nearly a year, about 11 months. I met with him on numerous occasions. And in each and every one of those occasions, Your Honor, Mr. McDonald has shown a deep sense of remorse. And I typically, in sentencings, I don't discuss a client's remorse a whole lot. I think it cheapens it coming from an attorney. Frankly, it needs to come from a defendant, and Mr. McDonald will speak today. But I personally have interacted with him so much that I believe that internally it has devastated him to be a part of this accident that occurred. Mr. McDonald is 61 years old. He was a Navy veteran for 20 years, gunner's mate. He served on 6 different ships. Hunter will be discharged in 2002. He met his current wife, Luann, back in the 80s. He has 4 grown children that are all successful in life, from ages 24 up to 39. 2 of his sons live in Wisconsin, 1 in Oklahoma and 1 in Nashville. When he got out of the Navy back in 2002, he got a CDL and started driving trucks for a living. He lived in Alabama at the time. Came up here in 2020. He took his position with Mid-State Systems, which is the trucking company he worked for as of this accident. He's lived an exemplary life up to this point, Your Honor. You know, other than a speeding ticket, he has no prior criminal history whatsoever. He's always lived a quiet life in Zanesville, Ohio. You know, I've looked through the sentencing factors in 29, 29, 12. And really, Your Honor, subsection B2, I certainly applies, that there was serious injury, physical, economic, and psychological harm that has been caused here. I think an argument can be made for subsection B5, wherein, he was a CDL holder. He had a heightened duty of care, but I believe there's a counter argument to that, Your Honor. This is a tragic accident that was a series of really 2 events. And, there was I'm not going to belabor the court by going back to the facts that you've heard, but there was an event that occurred prior to, and that was the heartbreaking event by the bus. And I think that those 2 coexisting at the exact same time, as unbelievable as it is, led to this tragic accident. Your Honor, there's a lot of factors that are mitigating factors, under subsection E in 29, 12. And those that I've already discussed, his longevity and his careers, both in the Navy and as a truck driver, no prior criminal history. Your Honor, Mr. McDonald's been in jail now for 323 days. We would ask the court to consider time served and a probationary term as determined by the court. Your Honor, I understand that in this event there was a tremendous amount of loss. I understand there's an overwhelming amount of emotion, and it was a very tragic event. But, Your Honor, it was in fact an accident. So I don't believe that that sentence would diminish the serious nature of the crime. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McDonald, would you like to say anything?
Yes, sir. I'm very sorry that this happened. I have no clue what happened. I'm not going to lie to you and say I do. And I pray every night to God. I do. For every single one of y'all and everybody involved in this accident. I do. And you can't say that I have no remorse, because I have very much remorse. Every day that I live, I have remorse. Every day that I shall live, I will have remorse. And I understand that y'all don't understand, but I don't know what else to say. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I consider the statements of the parties, the overriding purposes of felony sentencing, the overriding purposes of sentencing, the relevant seriousness of recidivism factors are taken into consideration, the victim impact statements that we've heard today that were submitted to me in writing as well. Consider the pre-sentence investigation report. Taking all these factors into consideration, we can impose a term of incarceration on each of the 6 counts of 180 days. We're going to order that those terms be served consecutively to one another. Frankly, the sheer magnitude of the catastrophe here warrants it. There is no sentence that I can impose today, or in the event that he'd been convicted of the more serious offenses that would have satisfied the victims of this offense. I get that. Sometimes the law does not measure nicely these gradations of fault and responsibility, nobody's gonna be satisfied. And you're entitled to your opinion about that. That is something that is your reality, I get it. But with respect to the sentence that I've imposed, consecutive terms here are necessary to punish this offense. 6 victims died. They're not disproportionate to the conduct, and given the loss, the magnitude of the loss, no single term would adequately reflect the seriousness of the conduct here. By virtue of revised code section 292141B1, the maximum aggregate sentence for misdemeanors may not exceed 18 months. Stated term of incarceration then is 18 months. Credit for time served is granted in the amount of 323 days. I'm not going to impose a fine given his status as being incarcerated. Court costs are assessed. Mr. Murphy, is there a request for restitution?
Your Honor, I don't believe there's restitution that is outside of the 6 people that have passed away as a result of this offense.
I'm going to impose also then a class 4 license suspension of 5 years. Mr. McDonald, do you have any questions about the sentence I've imposed?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, anything
No,
further?
Your Honor, thank you.
There.
Good luck.
Mr. McDonald. All rise.
But he's already served the